if you track women through their ovulation cycle and you show them a picture of a man, the same man, and you do nothing but vary his jaw width, when they're ovulating, the guy with the wider jaw is more attractive, and when they're not ovulating, the farthest away from that, the guy with the thinner jaw is more attractive, and that's associated with testosterone levels. And so women who are fertile like more masculine men, and basically if you're on the pill, then you're never in that ovulation phase. And so one thing that may have happened, and I don't know this for sure, but it's interesting to consider, is that since women have been taking the birth control pill, their preference for less masculine men has become more pronounced. And that could easily be one of the things that's fueling at least some of the tension that's existed and exists now politically between men and women. But the point is that you just cannot ignore the massive consequences of a biological revolution like that, and to make any other factor causal when you're trying to understand the political movements, especially in the last, say, 40 years, you're putting the cart before the horse. Now, it's reasonable to point out that the pill wouldn't have been accepted as a technology if certain political changes with regards to the emancipation of women hadn't already been in place, right? No one would have even been allowed to do something like investigate contraception. So you can't separate the biological from the political entirely, but it's still very useful to organizing your thinking to realize just how profound a revolution that was. But now back in the Victorian times, see, there's another thing about sexuality. Modern people like to think that there's nothing dangerous about sex, and that is like the stupidest thing you could possibly ever hypothesize, because everything about it is dangerous. It's dangerous emotionally, it's dangerous socially, it's dangerous because of the possibility of unwanted pregnancy, and it's dangerous because of the possibility of sickness, and that's a major one.
And the rest of the video just talks about politics. But I want to make this clear right now for a lot of people that don't understand what this is. Why are Muslims talking about birth control pills? You know, Muslim girls don't take birth control pills. Listen, as Ustad Gabriel Al-Romani always says, there's what the Muslims will give out, right? What we want to come across as the false haya, the false piety. And then there's what actually goes down behind closed doors that no one wants to talk about. And that's what we're going to go into. I'm not going to talk about the amount of sisters that I know on birth control pills. We're not going to talk about that. What I will say, because that's besides the point, and it's a lot, bro. But what we are going to say is this. I'm going to break down in 1 minute. That's going to be my attempt. The female menstrual cycle. All right. Women, and we've done this, by the way, like a year ago on an episode with Gabriel Al-Romani, but just for the people that are new here. A woman ovulates, right? And she also menstruates. When a woman ovulates, it's basically releasing her egg, right? That has to be fertilized by a man. In this time, the way Allah has designed the woman, she takes on more changes in her life, in her desires, and what she finds attractive, right? When a woman menstruates then and bleeds the egg out, right? If it didn't get fertilized and she bleeds out, then she also has different things. When a woman ovulates, she wants the strongest seed that she can get. So she's usually going to get with and find attractive more masculine traits. This has been proven with countless studies, just like JP said, right? So when a woman's ovulating, she finds masculine traits attractive. She finds dominant traits attractive. She finds dominant masculine men attractive. But do you know what's weird, bro? After a woman gets pregnant, right? During ovulation, because her body doesn't know if she's pregnant or not until she menstruates. Once a woman gets pregnant, right, during ovulation, it's hardwired in them, in their DNA, that the man might not stick around. Because think about it, bro. Back when we were, you know, survival hunter-gatherers, the man could just impregnate the woman, and there's no Islam or anything like that. He doesn't necessarily have to stick around, does he? So, you know, he could just screw off. So a woman then, once she gets this high-value seed, once she gets this very strong seed from a very strong male, she then has to guarantee that the kid makes it. You know what I mean? That the kid survives. So then she finds more provisioning, protective, right? In evolutionary psychology, they call it beta traits more attractive. Isn't this insane, bro? Like a woman will literally find a dominant male attractive over like a lesser beta male during ovulation, but she might find that same lesser beta male who has a bigger wallet more attractive physically. She'll literally physically find him more attractive than the alpha in evolutionary biology terms, right? So
Mm.
this blew my mind. Now, when you have the birth control pill, right? What the birth control pill does, right? Because it wants women to just not get pregnant and just do whatever, right? It basically keeps them in the menstrual phase or the premenstrual phase. So basically, they never ovulate. They never actually biologically experience ovulation. This is what the pill does. And what Jordan Peterson's saying is when you have a woman who is 24/7 in that phase where she finds beta males more attractive, right? Majority of women that are on birth control pill will not find masculine men attractive anymore. And this is dangerous because women, they think like other women, right? So if one woman finds a man attractive, a lot of them will find him attractive. That's how women think. This is groupthink, right? In biology. So this basically creates a horde of females, right? Finding beta males, lesser males, more attractive, right? Than males that are dominant and masculine. And this is dangerous because now you're affecting how a woman operates. You're corrupting her fitra.
Mm. I know this guy who was with this girl, and she wasn't on birth control when they met, and once they decided that she was gonna get on birth control, the attraction that they had for each other just completely went out the window.
100%.
And it wasn't until she got off the birth control that everything returned back to its normal state, where she was attracted to him again. Isn't that crazy? I know this other guy who got with this girl and she was on birth control. And then after several years of being married, she decided, I don't want to have birth control anymore. Like, because they don't, it's not just a pill. Like, some get like the thing inserted into their arm, and then some get this, like, I think it's called an
IUD.
IUD. Yes, IUD, Jazakallah.
Yeah.
They have this IUD inserted into their uterus, and they decide, oh, well, the chick decided, I don't want this anymore. I want to, have my body be natural. And the guy is like, yeah, like I agree, your body should be in its natural state. I mean, that's how it should be, right? When she got it removed, she was no longer attracted to her husband, so they ended up getting a divorce. Isn't that crazy?
I know, bro. I know. It's almost like the way Allah has created men and women. Men who are naturally going to be more dominant and masculine than women, women are supposed to find that attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that's what Allah triggered women to find attractive during ovulation, so they can procreate, so we can have more kids. Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk, may Allah bless him immensely and continue to put barakah in his work. When we got him on an episode, he said that, and he's in the medical field, so he deals with evolution and all this daily, right? And he said that for populations to continue, two people in a couple, they need to have 2.1 kids, right? Statistically. So if a couple has 2 kids, the population is going to decline net. So the average couple has to have 2.1 kids. Now, how are you going to procreate when the things that are supposed to drive women to copulate with men during that time of the month no longer get them off because of the pill? And the things that aren't supposed to get them off do. That's dangerous. You're now altering Allah's creation. I'm not a scholar, right? So I'm not going to say birth control is haram. But you see where I'm going with this. You are modifying the creation of Allah with these things, with these pills.
Here's what we forgot to mention as well, is that when the woman does this and she begins to alter her natural chemistry, this makes men adapt and become more feminine. Because as humans, we are we adapt, we survive, we do what we need to do, right? Like you go into the sun, what does your skin do? It gets darker. The melanin changes the pigmentation in order to adapt to the increased level of sunlight, the sun rays, the UV rays, right? Because if it doesn't adapt, well, then you're just gonna keep getting burned, and you're probably gonna have cancer, skin
Mm,
cancer, or something like that. So it's an adaptation. Now, the man will always adapt himself, probably subconsciously when it comes to women, but it's more so game. Right? Like,
mm,
you ever heard that whole thing like, oh, when you start talking to women, you start developing game. Well, what is this game? This game is your approach to the woman and the way that
mm,
you handle and play with this to be able to, get the end result, whatever that end result may
mm,
be. That's
mm,
on the individual.
mm,
But what I'm saying is that this is game, and game is developed primarily subconsciously, but some a little bit conscious here and there. This is an adaptation to the woman, to the environment, to what's going on here. All right, now if the woman is taking this pill and is changing what she finds attractive, if you're being dominant, if you're being masculine and you have all this testosterone and you're noticing that no woman is really attracted to you, like women are actually putting you down, don't you think subconsciously that's gonna impact you and you're gonna start doing things to lessen yourself,
bro,
bring your testosterone levels down?
what you're saying is true for people, let's say, that are single, right? But let's say someone's in a relationship or a marriage. Let's say the wife reads some fatwa from Sheikh Google, right? Because this Sheikh sold his soul. He works at the same masjid that says LGBT is okay, right? So he says, okay, cool, birth control is okay, let's say, and she gets on it, bro. Just like you're saying, subconsciously, the man is gonna realize, it's subconscious, right? He's not gonna actually be aware of this, but when I'm masculine, when I'm working on myself, when I'm going to the gym, right? She doesn't put out that much, you know. But when I stay home, when I do the dishes, when I do more beta traits, just like the studies say, she puts out more. So that's basically one pill programming women to find traits in men attractive that they shouldn't at certain times of the month, and program men to act like ways they shouldn't to get with women, until women suddenly want to have kids when they hit the wall at age 30 and they stop taking the pill. And all of a sudden, where have all the good men gone? They say.
Astaghfirullah, bro. Astaghfirullah. So the guy that I know who who he got in a relationship with this girl and she wasn't on birth control, then she got on birth control, the attraction went off, and then she got off the birth control, the attraction came back. He said that when they first got into the relationship, obviously he was just being himself, he was being dominant, he was being masculine. He had that masculine frame, he had that attraction. He was pulling her, she was pulling him because she had the feminine frame, right? And then once she started taking this pill, it started to change everything. The attraction went away, but also he noticed that in order for him to get attention and to get anything from his woman at the time, he had to actually change what he did. So it changed by him having to spend more time with her, just sitting down watching movies and stuff like that. And then it changed from him having more of that, like, I don't know how to say it, but just having that daddy frame to him having like that buddy buddy frame with her. And he noticed he was getting like more attraction from her when he was having the buddy buddy frame. Now obviously she got off the birth control, so like the attraction came back, but the subtleties, the subconscious changes that began to occur did not go back. So he kept doing the same thing that he was doing without realizing it. Without realizing he was doing these subtle changes of spending more time with her, sitting with her, watching movies more, all this stuff, being buddy buddy. And it got to the point where she was no longer attracted in him now because he was doing the same things that he was doing that caused her to be attracted to him when she was on the birth control for that little bit of time that they were together. Stuff so low, bro. Isn't that crazy?
That is absolutely mind blowing, bro. That the things we're saying, you actually have an anecdotal case with this, and there's countless studies, guys, to prove this. But we're not gonna leave you out to hang dry after all this. What can you do? Don't let your women folk take birth control pills. If you're a woman, stop taking birth control pills. If you've never taken it, stay away from that and all birth control devices, right? Men, I'm gonna say this right now. I can't speak on male contraception. I've never done the research, right? There's a lot of male contraceptives that we talked about, right? On her, even some natural ones. We're not gonna speak on that. We haven't looked at
Oh,
the studies.
I could speak on that.
Not
I
right
could
now.
speak
Not
on
right
that
now.
right
Not right
now.
now. This is too long. But what I will say is, if you look at a
Oh,
man's preference in women, it doesn't change during the month, does it? On her, we have pretty constant, consistent preferences in women. We don't have a cycle
yes.
like women do. So I'm assuming that it's not going to affect us the same as women. But that's another episode. But for women, it is going to affect you.
Mhm.
So Omar Zaid talked about this best in his book called The Taqwa of Marriage, that a woman can do whatever she wants. She can get that job. She can work on her career, trying to one up men. She could do whatever she wants to do. But no matter what she does, when it comes that time of the month, she has to submit. If she gets pregnant, she has to give birth. She has to fully submit herself to the biological processes that are going to take control over her life when they do, the way Allah has created and blueprinted them to. She has no control over that. So it's better to just yield and give in and accept reality for what it is. Stop trying to change that. Stop trying to get on this pill that's no longer going to give you your period, and just accept reality for what it is. Period. Is there anything else to say,
Mhm.
bro?
I mean, I could say more, but
I want to
it would be
say,
extending the video.
mashallah, you look very mashallah today. I'll say that a woman, a sister, no matter what time of the month she's on, she should find you attractive. But she's not gonna, because she's gonna lower her gaze. Isn't that right, bro?
Yeah,
All right,
inshallah.
bro. With that being said,
Bro,
yeah,
hold up. I wanted to say like one last takeaway for the men
go away, go for it.
is and this it is for women as well, but primarily for the men is to be aware of what's happening in your surrounding. Because again, like we are, I hate to say it, but we do become products of our environments, especially when we're not present. And if that happens, subconsciously we are being programmed. All right, so just think about that. All right, like if you have these things going on, like we said with the examples, it's happening subconsciously. How do you change this? How do you stop this? You stop it by being aware. You stop it by being present. So that's the takeaway message for both men and women, but primarily for men when it comes to this case.
All right, guys, if you made it this far, comment down below hashtag papaya, and we'll see you on the
Papaya
next one.
Saints.
Here we go. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think there's another thing too. It's the perseverance aspect too. Like, we're more willing to stick through with things that we set out with an intention.
It's impossible to have empathy for others if you're not patient. So may Allah bless you for that.
First off, I'm gonna agree with the fact that the whole thing you said about friends, where it's like if they're affecting you more than you're affecting them, then you should probably get some new friends.
You want to be investing in stocks, shares, bonds. You want to be investing in crypto, because there's this thing called inflation, which means every year that passes by, the value of a dollar goes lower and lower and lower. And the reason being is because they're printing more money, right? That's why money is haram. At least the paper money is haram.
Provided that you're actually there and you're being a good father and the mother's being a good mother, best conditions.
And behind the mic, Hamza, Andreas, Zortzis, we will go in with our final three with brother Anghel, inshallah.
Inshallah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
It's not just a responsibility on you, it's responsibility on all the children, especially your father.
In our private area is very elastic, and yeah, if you go too fast, the skin will literally crease up into like the edge of like the little clipper things, and you will literally clip your skin.
You don't want to be on YouTube or the internet or anything that amount of time, but it's the fact is that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.